Okay. I'm I'm generally on board with three betting here. Do we have any notes about more or less?
No notes on him. Um, yeah, no, no. Actually, at this table, we don't have notes on anybody. Lately, I've noticed that it's kind of harder to. They're offering less tables. It looks like. I don't know if tables are just filling and they're offering less tables, but I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Um,
Um, how do people usually react to three bets on this site?
it's been working out for me because you told me to three bet more, so I feel like I've been taking down more pots early. Um,
Yeah.
So I like sometimes I'll take down more pots, and then sometimes I'll get people to call me off with nothing. But it seems like three bettings have been working, like increasing my three bet range, especially on like the button, and I feel like out of position because I feel like I was flat flying a lot in the small
Right.
blind.
Right.
So three betting in the small blind has I've seen results now. Like last week was kind of terrible, or 2 weeks ago was bad, but this past week I feel
Yeah.
like it's been like because I guess going in with the betting lead if
It's
I don't have
yeah.
position has been useful.
Right. Um, yeah. I learned that from studying Doug Polk's like his advice on his website. But he said like you should never be calling, like absolutely never, 0% calling from the small blind. And this isn't the high level games, so you can probably get away with it at low level games like ours. But like to be like not exploitable, you have to three bet or fold from the small blind. So that doesn't mean you have to do it, but it's just like the sound most sound poker theory is that you're always three betting from the small blind if you're playing.
Which I've seen has been like held true. Like it seems, I
Yeah.
feel like from the small blind, I've been taking down way more pots pre flop and post flop.
Right. Because if you're like, for example, like let's say you don't play this hand, but flat with aces has like your hand A6 suited or something, he might be tempted to call here, but like more or less, in late position, people will open up anything like Jack 10 offsuit, Queen Jack offsuit. If I have A6 suited in the small blind and I think more or less is opening too much, I'll three bet to like $1.20 here. And Queen Jack offsuit just looks so bad in a three bet pot. Like you just have no clue where you're at. And so for that reason, it's like if you three bet big from the small blind, it's like so effective. Which that's another note is like I don't know what your sizing is for three betting from the small blind, but if it's like I said, I do about 4x if it's just open to like 30 cents or whatever. All right. What range are you putting more or less on when you
Um,
opens and calls?
uh, Probably a pretty wide range. Definitely larger cards. Probably not aces or kings or probably not queens. Maybe ace king, but I feel like those would four bet most of the time. I feel like most people would four bet, especially a smaller three bet, because I only raised it up to like 79 cents. It wasn't like super high.
Right.
So I'm thinking pairs, maybe some higher like king jack suited, queens or queen jack suited, king queen suit. It's like higher cards like that.
Yeah.
Maybe some pairs and
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that range. So I think c betting for half pot. Let's see, what would I do? Yeah, I'd probably do the exact same thing. So I think c betting half pot is good, and he just flats. So if he flats, what do you think?
Um, this is where I kind of get a little lost because I have top pair here, but it's like a weak top pair.
Right.
Um, so him flatting, he could have two overcards and thinks I'm just c betting. So because my c bet size wasn't too big,
Yeah.
it was just half pot. So I feel like most of his range is probably continuing there, and
Actually,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
yeah. So I disagree with that. I think Queen Jack of Hearts is folding here. King Jack of Hearts, King Queen, all these hands are folding. Even Ace Queen offsuit is probably folding to that c bet, just because you're capable of already having a set. You're capable of already having two pair. Like your range is undefined, and you know this player isn't thinking about that consciously. This isn't going through their head, but subconsciously they're probably not calling with ace queen here, king queen, things like that, unless it's of diamonds. That's my take. I mean, this guy might be a loose kind of player, and you might be right, but I'm thinking he's folding all of his Broadway cards that aren't suited. I would put him on something more like 7s, 8s, 9s. That's kind of where I put him at. But yeah, having no information on him, it's just hard to say. He could just have like random shit like 7, 8. So those are all possible. But to me, it seems more like he's got like 8s. That's kind of how I feel. And he bets.
Yeah, so he goes check, check, and then he opens. So I'm thinking like bluffing. Could be bluffing the flush. I feel like the flush would have bet the turn, so I don't think he has a flush here. Something he might be betting the flush.
What? Why do you think flush would bet the turn? What do you mean?
Because whenever, well, I guess that doesn't make sense because I'm thinking I'm in position. So I guess if he were in position, it would make sense to bet the turn, but he's out of position, so maybe. So that's flawed logic. Yeah, I guess that's just a flaw there. But he, I'm suspicious when he checked the turn because it goes check, check, and then he comes out for $1.60. So yeah, I think he's bluffing here, but that's what I was thinking.
So I agree because first of all, flushes are just so unlikely. It's like people love to bluff at flushes when they're in these kinds of pots. It's like they just try to outplay you. And so I'm with you here. $1.60 seems like, honestly, it seems like a queen jack fucking just betting just because I don't think pocket eights are comfortably value betting here. He could have. The only thing I could think is like ace 5 of clubs or just ace 5 in general that he's actually value betting with, but I think he's got a lot of bluffs in his range. I just don't think, it just doesn't seem likely that like I said, like 7s, 8s, 9s, I don't think those are value betting here, so I would call personally, which I assume you do too. That's just a bad value bet by him. I'm trying. Yeah, so it's just a really bad value bet unless you have been playing like your hand face up lately. Like if he knows exactly how you play, then maybe this makes sense. But I think it was just a really bad value bet by him on the river, and it looked like a bluff because he played it so weird. So I don't mind the call. I really don't mind the play in general. The only thing I would consider is like I would consider shoving the river as a bluff, obviously, because he never has a full house here, or not never, but it's so rare that he has a full house or he has a flush here that we could consider shoving, but that. I wouldn't do that without information on the guy. Like, I don't know if he has the tendency to fold, but, all in all, I think you played the hand fine. I think you have to c-bet the flop because he could have anything. He could have queen jack, so it's like you don't want to see a jack roll off. So I think you played that fine. I think three betting is okay. I would like to have a little bit more information on him before I just like 3-bet him and then try to define his range. But all in all, I think the hand was fine. I think it's like a profitable play because yes, pocket 7s happen to be in his range, and it's like one of the strongest hands in his range. But like we said, he could have king queen, ace queen, king jack, queen jack. He could have all these hands, and then we just like c-bet the flop and take it down, and it's a profitable play. So I think overall it's fine. and then he just made a really bad value bet on the river, because you could have a flush, right? Flush draws will c bet, and then they see like a scary turn card, and they'll just like check back. Okay, I hope I make my flush. And it's just like if he value bets sevens there, and he gets raised, he's like in such a bad spot. So it's like it's a very bad play by him, and I think you're right to call because it just doesn't make sense that he should be value betting here.